Welcome to another edition of HotCox.
Oh yeah.
Been a while since we've done one of
Since
these.
HotCox,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
quite a while. Yeah,
I think the last one might have been EE.
probably. HotCox is it's
Or
only
no, it was Sheever. It was Sheever. We talked to Sheever.
Oh, you're right. You're
That's
right.
Okay.
It's a special kind of show that only comes around for a special kind of occasion. Or
Yeah.
maybe a special bit of news or drama or whatever it may be.
And this time we have a very special guest, Peter Dager, PPD. His team coming off of a pretty big win at Starladder.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna catch up with Peter. Talk about a few different things.
Knock on the green wall a little bit. Oh
Yeah.
We're excited.
So without further ado, let's see if
Ladies and
Peter's
gentlemen, PPD.
PPD.
Is that how we do it? Okay, there we go. That's how we do it, I
cool.
guess.
Hello.
Hey,
How are
what's
you?
up?
So for those that aren't familiar, where are you these days?
Yeah,
where are you?
Where is
what's going on?
this wonderful brick wall background coming from right now?
I'm finally at home, probably for I fly out tomorrow, but at home, like one of the few weeks that I'm here in Denver, Colorado.
Denver.
And what has been your schedule like since, coming back from Starladder? Have you guys been?
No, we actually
Streaming
haven't practiced yet. We thought about practicing today, but not really too many people are playing, so I think we're gonna end up canceling. But we're flying, or at least 4 of us are gonna be in Dallas tomorrow, where we're gonna have like 1 day of boot camp before we play these qualifiers.
And which qualifiers are you guys playing in?
Yeah, so first off, we have I think it's the ESL Birmingham, right? And then right after that, we have the Super Major China qualifiers. So it's gonna be like 4 or 5 days, I think. I'm not sure if we're playing every single one of those because I think we got like slotted into the semifinals for one of them for whatever reason.
Okay.
But yeah,
They're doing that. They did that for. Well, by the way, first, can we move your camera slightly down? It looks like you're like a. Yeah, there we go. Get
that
centered a
better?
little bit. Yeah, that's better. They're doing that these days. LGD's in the finals of the.
We're going right to that, right?
Yeah.
All right. I mean,
Well, no, I mean we can talk about Starladder first, but you know he's talking about qualifiers, so.
I know that will be something fun to talk about. You said it felt like forever since you've been back home. So how long you been on the road? I know I can't handle homesick. Like I get homesick now more than ever. I was in China for like the one DAC and I couldn't handle it and had to come back. How long have you been gone? And are you good with that?
Yeah, I didn't count days for this tournament, but I think it was like around 3 weeks. And before that, we were home for like 9 days, and then we were on that PGL ESL Katowice 3-week trip as well. So it was like 3 weeks gone, or 3 weeks gone, week and a half home, 3 weeks gone, and now I'm home for like 2 or 3 days before we're going to boot camp. But after that, we should have some time off because we didn't qualify to Epicenter or DL. So we're gonna have some downtime, which is maybe it'll be a nice thing for the last 2 majors, hopefully.
And Starladder, tell us about your Starladder experience. Obviously, tournament went quite well for you guys. Some first time wins for a lot of people on your squad.
Yeah, it was it's always really fun to win tournaments, right? No, it was really nice. It was kind of like it felt sort of like almost like honeypotty, kind of like we were supposed to be the people to win, which was really weird for us. It was the first time in a tournament I think we'd been a favorite. But we ended up just winning anyways. We didn't drop a series, so it was really nice and a nice confidence boost for us, knowing that, like, thinking that we're really good and then being able to be really good and actually win when it mattered.
I was just gonna say, did you have to give any speeches or anything to your team, motivational stuff? Because you're like the one that's won tournaments before, right?
Yeah.
Other than Zai,
the locker room speech was pretty small this time. I really didn't have to talk to anybody. It's the team didn't need it. We were on a good path and everything was just going smooth. And until something went totally wrong, we just played our game. It worked out.
Did you do anything different when you were coming into this? I know like 3-3 has been or 33. What does he like to be called? Is it 3-3 or 33? I hear everyone say both.
I just call him Neta.
Meta.
I think
Fair enough.
I think it's like a better name. He should probably just change it to that. His name's Neta Shapira. It's a pretty cool name. I think.
It's pretty fitting too. Yeah, it's a sick name. But I mean, did you guys just kind of? I don't know how to put it, like give him more responsibilities for this event? It seemed like he was definitely in the spotlight in a lot of your games more often. So did you just kind of
Yeah,
change it up the way you played around him?
I think that he got the spotlight in the finals for sure with the Visage and Brood games, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like that was like the story of the tournament, right? Which is cool because there's a story of a tournament. Um, but that's just I don't. That's how we would always do it. It wasn't like anything different before the tournament. We'd already like even at the major DAC, that's how we were playing, and that was kind of just the same game plan that we had. This tournament just teams gave him more opportunities to do his thing on his favorite heroes like Visage, Lycan, Broodmother, these like Helm of the Dominator heroes that he succeeds with so often.
How did the tournament treat you guys?
The Star Ladder, it
Yeah.
was it was pretty good actually. We were only there for 2 days because we
Mm-hmm.
just had the group stage, which was like Thursday or Friday, or I think it was Thursday, and then we just had 2 days off, and then we came for the finals. So it was a pretty sweet little 8-team minor, and it only took 4 or 5 days, which was pretty nice. And everything was great. I mean, everything was what it needed to be, right? It didn't like exceed expectations like DAC did because DAC was like China's TI this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That event was fantastic, like all across the board. But Star Ladder, there was nothing wrong. It was great.
And this being like this is the first tournament that in the DPC that you guys won on Optic. What is the fan response like? Is it different than other teams? Because the Optic's known for their fans being kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, I think it's nice. A lot of us like to read back fans, and Optic Game has its own subreddit for its team where there's actually pretty big, decent sized match threads where, like our fans talk about our games. And it's generally like overwhelmingly positive or like forward looking, which is like a change in pace from our Dota 2, right?
Uh
So it's nice to have all that support to fall back on whenever you feel like you want to check out what's going on. It's fun. It's nice to bring home a championship for Optic. This year's been a struggle for Optic fans out there. The Call of Duty team is really on a drought. I'm disappointed, but I'm sure they're gonna get better.
You ever get to chat with those teams and talk with those optics guys ever at all? You
guys with like millions of followers.
Nah, not really. Zai was in like a Optic Plays video earlier this year. He played some Overcooked with a couple of you guys. And I think we might try to do some content when we're there these next 5 days. But I haven't really been down to Dallas more than like a couple times, and it was just for like strictly boot camp. So I think we might have a little bit of time for us to potentially do content with other members of Optic, which would be fun.
Those fans, they're really fun to read their comments because some of them they don't play Dota or even like know much about it, so it's like refreshing to like they're like, oh, it's like this person a good hero.
I don't know why people like to make fun of them so much.
No, it's cute. It's like
I know, but people are like, look at these guys. They don't know anything about Dota, but they just genuinely love a team.
No,
How dare they?
they're untainted.
It's very refreshing to look at. Like,
Yeah.
It's like a little innocent baby,
Yeah.
They haven't been corrupted by the evils that is Dota.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dota hasn't defeated them mentally yet.
They haven't.
So they're just,
Yeah.
oh, it looks so fantastic, and all the characters are so cool.
They're not there doing the CS lol and
No.
fucking Sue fails and all that shit.
No, they haven't experienced true loss until they get like a 25K lead thrown and like a really important match. Like
Guys,
they're
why
just
does
like,
my
oh,
heart hurt so
like we're doing
much?"
so good. Like let's push high ground. Like they're all happy right now. It's great. Do you got any Optic fans, DMing you, adding you, all that kind of stuff that they're just like all the time or what? I haven't really checked.
That's just all the time for every Dota, like popular players and popular teams. They get lots of like fan, I guess you could say, right?
I meant more like, is the tone different? Do you get like, oh, good.
What do you mean? Like I'm
Like-
getting friendlier messages
Yeah.
from people because we just won?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course there's a higher frequency of positive messages coming my way because positive things are happening to me. Definitely.
Well, then I guess
It's
would
nice.
it be when the times are tough, are there less negative messages coming from Optics fan base then?
Yeah, what are
if
they
you
like
were,
when you guys
on
are,
one of your older teams?
Did they expect you guys to win right away or, any of that
I don't
stuff?
know. I never look at like things when I lose. When things are negative or like I do poorly or I know like the feedback on something is going to be, they suck, they need this, they need that. we know better, it's just a waste to look at. So it's not fun to look at either, right? It
Yeah.
just makes me feel bad. So I'm not going to do that if I feel bad. But when I win, I'm going to look in there because there's going to be people patting me on the back and stroking my ego.
Yeah.
So I guess this could segue almost to the talking point of what Mad and Bulba and everything had been not long ago.
Yeah, because Bulba said basically that a lot of pros can't not look at it even when it's bad. They're just like, it's like one of those you can't look away things.
Where else can you have a service like that though? I mean, now there is, because of Reddit. I bet even like NBA pros are occasionally hopping over.
That's
to
Kevin
RNBA
Durant.
To, like,
he looked at all the comments and
Yeah.
when he left OKC and he looked at all those comments, he created the alt account on Twitter.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right.
NBA player, millionaire, did that.
So-
So
It's not too surprising that people are going to fiend, And
so if you
want
can
to
actually
see-
do that, props to you, because a lot of people can't. They can't just
I mean, I feel like even if I look at negative stuff, I can put a wall on it where it's like, these messages are going to be here when you click on the thread, and then sure enough, they're there, right? And if you can't handle looking at Reddit, you're just not ready for the internet, right? Because the internet is, imagine the worst possible thing that somebody could say. It's going to be there, right? And if you can't deal with that, then you should stay off the internet.
So would that be like kind of the advice you'd have someone like new on your team, like 3-3 or Meta? It's like it feels bad that you have to bring that up as a like listen, you're going to be on a big team, we're going to be on the big stage, people are going to shit on you, so just kind of put that behind you and focus on what's ahead. But is that part of the like orientation and part of the coaching process, telling him to shrug that shit off?
I think it's easier for him because if Peter retired today, he can say he had a satisfying career. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's easy for you. I think it's easier for you to at least shrug off negative feedback just because you can look back on the experiences that you've had and you've had success already and all that kind of stuff. Whereas if someone's new and they just get like Bulba, for instance, I don't think if Bulba retired today, he'd say, I'm satisfied with my Dota career, So it's a lot harder for him to like probably see that negative feedback. Do you think it's the same way for you?
I mean, maybe.
I want to see
it's hard for me to say because like I probably did care a lot more back then for sure. But I think I don't know. I feel like I just grew up, got better at dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I don't really need to sit down and I don't think you can like sit down and like talk with your teammates and be like, hey, this is this is going to be a problem. Maybe you shouldn't look at it, or like do your best not to look at it because you deal with it well. If somebody actually needed that advice, then I would be comfortable doing it because they're my teammates and I want them to do as well as they possibly can because that means we're going to do as well as we possibly can. But no, I don't really.
I guess I was more curious if that is something that has to happen, amongst the teams you've been on already and the various new players that have come on and gone away. Has there ever needed to be discussions like, guys, you remember, have thick skin. People are going to say stuff.
No, people hate on Quinn all the time.
So it's like
they hate him. So does he probably has to tune out, like, kind of like ignore a lot of stuff.
Or does Quinn relish in it? I don't know.
I don't know. I know. How does he react to that stuff?
He's ready to make a goofy face and put the attention on him. So maybe
he seems happy-go-lucky about it. It's just, I don't know. Does it?
His winner's interview at the end, he's just like, bring it on. The so bade. Do you like that, Peter? Are you there coaching him along for those interviews? I hear you. I see you whispering, and I'm like, hold that trophy up. Put the trophy up.
He was teaching him how to hold the trophy. They didn't know that before.
I did whisper at him after we won the first series when he did the interview with the girl, and I did tell him to throw a so bait in there.
You told
that was you to do it. All right.
Because I know that like his character is so funny, and I get to see him all the time. Whereas like most people only get to see him like when he streams or when he's getting angry or doing that. But like Quinn is a very funny, like go lucky, go happy kid. And he loves Twitch chat like emotes more than anything in the world. And he's
more than Bulldog. Do we dare put them toe to toe?
He's always in Bulldog stream.
We see now. He's like raised by Twitch chat,
Oh god.
Yeah, he's raised by Twitch chat, so he loves.
That's like his biggest influence is like
life.
It's like memes. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my god.
That's just his character.
We're gonna have a generation of video game players who are raised by Twitch chat. It's just. I mean, I like Quinn. He plays Mafia with us. He's funny. It's great.
Very engaging. He's great with content. He's got personality, which it's already a huge leaps and bounds for a lot of video gamers, unfortunately, out there. So it's good. Some in the market and brand. Yeah.
So, you had some interesting tweets That
Which ones?
Well, it seemed like Star Ladder finishes. You guys
Yeah.
are on an all-time high. You're feeling good. Optic gets the win. PyCat gets a win. 3-3 gets a win. You travel away. You land. You flip up the old phone.
Yeah.
Suddenly, what's
I was
happening here?
I was so bored. My flight was delayed like 30 minutes, and I was just thinking, what could I possibly do?
Yeah, here we go.
So I just loaded up the old Twitter and just started drafting away, and eventually I found some gold.
You got some
And,
collateral damage on Wikram.
Oh,
He's just standing he's standing on the side. He's trying to interpret. He got caught in the
yeah, no, he got in the way.
he got some crossfire.
Oh man, not even Wikram is safe.
My guy Wikram, he's so nice.
Way too close. No, I'm just kidding. That one was probably a little bad on me. I wasn't calling him a liar. I was calling these greedy corporation event organizers liars. Nah, I'm just. You want to get into it?
Yeah, sure.
I'm
Alright,
sure,
what-
like, if bits of information like that get thrown around all over. I mean, even as a talent, like in these events, you're hearing murmurs from the teams, which could be different from the murmurs of the talent who are going to that event, which are different from the content people back there who want to create content for said future event. You're just kind of like, I don't even know what's happening, so I don't know who's going to be right or wrong in this kind of situation.
The true irony about those invites that the Super Major made is that they probably had some meeting with everyone there, and they were just like, let's make these as uncontroversial as possible and just invite the top 10 teams. They literally probably had that conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
And then it comes out, I think it just flamed. Like,
I mean, it's
up and
difficult.
down.
It's a really tough job to do. Like, it's nobody has it easy, right? But that's why you just need a better system that does it for you, so you have less controversy.
I hear him cutting out. Do you hear?
He's cutting out a little bit. I mean, we get generally what he's saying, but it could be
I was talking a little quieter.
maybe you're
it's
like
Discord.
voice
Do you want to set
threshold in
the threshold a
Discord
little
or
lower,
whatever.
maybe? I don't know if that's in the settings.
Or
but
speak up.
We'll
either
fill.
would be
We'll
fine.
fill while you do.
But yeah, because I imagine
Fast.
for the sake of the tournament organizer, they're pushing to do things as early as possible for the logistics sake, for visas, or for whatever the hell it may be. For players and maybe viewers, they're hoping to get something more fresh, more relevant to who's actually the best and who's not the best that matches up. So,
And the NA region is one of the ones that is just the most kind of like, I'm not sure. Who's
it's
actually
a nice
the best at what
rotating
time.
wheel.
Yeah, exactly.
Often between anybody. Cole might make to event, then Optics there, EG's there, and Vici.
I can get in the mind of PPD and understand the airport tweet. Probably is just sitting there. EG wins GESC. They come home to a nice invite to the Birmingham Major. Optic goes and wins an event, comes home.
It wasn't even like that, man. It wasn't even
No?
like that. I was not looking or justifying an invite in our case at any degree. Like, I knew it was not possible because I already knew the invites were out, right?
Okay.
I knew they were gone. And I knew we weren't getting invited to any events. And I didn't really think that we should. Although I would love an invite to that mysterious Galaxy Battles major that just disappeared. Because we did manage to qualify for that, and that tournament's just gone.
They got to give you like a rain check on the points, right?
Just give us like, we'll ballpark it and give you a couple hundred DPC points, right? You don't get the full amount. We'll just give you.
Did you send Galaxy Battles an invoice for the points? Because I think if you send that email out, they might come back with some.
I don't know what to do, but it's really unfortunate for the 6 teams that qualified to that event that just have absolutely nothing there for it.
That is
because that could have been a qualifier to another tournament where, you could have got DPC points out.
What about the idea of, and this might be something that's the Super Major was trying when that Chinese qualifier with LGD, is taking the teams that were not invited but are obviously very strong contenders and using their current momentum or points to put them further into these qualifier
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
Like,
well, I think it's possible, but like the whole system would have to be different. Like you would have to be going off DPC points for like everything, right? And unfortunately, that's just not the case because a majority of teams don't have any DPC points.
Or ineligible, right? Or at different rosters or all that kind of stuff, right?
Sure. Yeah. And then that's the thing is like all these teams outside of, so every event has invites, right? And then every event has qualifiers. Realistically, I think that all teams should be defined as non-invites or invites. I don't think there should be like tiers of not invited. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think LGD should be starting in the finals, or I don't think Optic should be starting in the semifinals of a 8-team qualifier, right? You're basically just saying we're gonna give Optic only one chance, or like one chance to fuck up, right, or two chances to fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we're gonna give this other team, they have to win. They have to win 4 series, where Optic only has to win 2. And I understand that like some teams are tiers above others, and maybe that best of 3 isn't the best competition, but like you still have to give people the opportunity. So instead of doing this like 8-team laddered bracket that you're basically saying, hey, we want Optic and Cold our events.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do an 8-team single elimination, and then they can just fight each other. And the semifinals, the finals, or like the quarterfinals, it doesn't really matter because only one team is going anyways.
Yeah. And obviously, a lot of people are going to be putting extra attention on something like the super major because, for God's sakes, it's a
so
super major.
Yeah,
it's a lot of extra points
in there.
So if a team's going to have
the tournament is the super major is supposed to be this end of the year thing with the most points that gives a little bit of weighted to the best current teams. But the thing is, like, you're using these super old DPC points to just bring who's on that list, and that's not necessarily a good representation of teams that have warmed up in the second half of the season that should have the opportunity to maybe go there.
Do you think a tournament organizer should be able to uninvite a team if they make a roster change?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I was actually pretty I don't know what the word is, like slightly uncomfortable with Liquid using Heen as a stand-in at Dream League in place of Miracle, because Liquid was an invited team to that tournament.
Right.
I think that was kind of a slap in the face to a lot of teams that would have liked to be there instead of them. And yeah, I didn't really agree with that. So I think if teams change their rosters or are going to an event with a different roster, they should technically be replaced.
Fair enough. I mean, that's essentially what happened to OG, right?
Yeah.
I assume they probably thought about, or I don't know exact timeline of it, but I also understand it from the team perspective. Like, they probably make all these arrangements.
But do they do that? Do they still do that like sub lock spot on like roster locks and stuff? And if they do, like, then when does that ever really come into play, or is it only in play then for TI? I guess at that point, and why even bother having it? I guess because I agree, it does make it very awkward, especially for teams directly invited to have a roster change like that, and then for the tournament organizer.
Once they have their invite locked in, they should theoretically have their spot at risk if let's say they switch 3 players, like like 1 player okay, 2 players okay. It's a different team even with 1 player different. TO might be like, well, okay, you're not, like, we invited Liquid, you are not Liquid. You're 4 players of Liquid playing with the coach. Which I guess is the reasoning why you can't just do the top 10 points, because OG is not really OG. It's not like Mad earned those points with them. Rezo did, right? But then a lot of those points that they earned also came from invites earlier in the year. So it's it's a snowball effect that's a little could be perceived as not really fair.
Let's say an event shows up, no invites, all qualifiers. Do you think everyone embraces that, or do people get kind of shifty about it a bit?
I don't know.
It feels like initially the only person that majorly potentially loses is the TO, not being able to guarantee these huge viewer watch teams are going to be there.
Right,
but what about for everyone else?
At this point, I don't actually think that most teams are not going to play in qualifiers if they have them. If they need the points, they'll play in the qualifier. I don't think anyone's going to be like,
yes.
If you're not inviting me, I'm not going to play.
Yeah.
This year, I think teams and players lost more power than they ever have before. Like, tournament organizers hold, they control everything. It's like back when I played on EG and we were this super premier team, events would literally like almost beg us to come to their events. And we'd be like, yeah, we'll go to your event, but we're going to need business class flights and we're going to need solo hotel rooms. These were like, and we could ask for these things. And now it's like, if a major wanted to invite any team to a tournament, they'd be like, hey, we want to invite you to this tournament, but you're going to have to pay for your own flights and you're going to have to pay for your own hotels. Do you want to come? And teams and players would be like, yes, absolutely. So,
wow.
Summit 9. We're paying for nothing.
Yeah, you're living in the house.
Hey, if you guys are a DPC event, you'll get teams.
Yeah, but they probably have some sort of, like, teams could probably complain to Valve about, like, they're like, yeah, you pay us to come to the event, buy DPC points from us.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's
Is that not
Eventually,
essentially what's happening?
no, is that what's happening?
I don't know.
They're still
Big
paying for flights and food and all that kind
big
of stuff.
big teams pay for the biggest names, therefore draw the biggest viewers, and they get invited to the biggest tournaments to generate revenue for their players. I I don't know, man.
How do you feel about teams that are guaranteed to be invited to TI still attending these tournaments? Like, for example, VP, like they're pretty much locked in, right? So
Yeah, I just think you should move the points, the DPC points. They should go to like if VP gets top 4, then give 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points, and then split 5th and 6th points amongst each other.
doesn't that disadvantage whoever VP defeats? Just like bracket luck, kind of like.
Of course it does.
I don't know, but or they just can't. Like once you qualify for TI, you're saying that they just shouldn't be able to earn any more points, and it just gets redistributed evenly.
I guess it
among
means
the
that
rest, or-
if they.
I mean, it just sucks because all these tournaments you only give 4 teams points, and it's the same 3 or 4
Oh
teams
yeah, okay.
every
So I see
tournament.
what you mean. Yeah,
And you get like one team that like squeaks into like 3rd or 4th place, but like, you know, how many events have like Liquid Secret VP not won? You know, it's been like those guys and like newbie, right?
I think
For, like a majority of events.
Yeah, like the reasoning behind that essentially was that I think the organizers and Valve expected the tier 1 teams to attend less minors.
Yeah, but all the minors were at the beginning of the season when everybody was like, "How many points do we need?"
Yeah,
You're right.
true.
Yeah, VP, because you don't know how many points you're going to earn, right? So in the beginning of the season, you're kind of just like, we should just go to everything, get as many as we can. Once we're secured, then we can back off slowly. But then as you get to the end of the season, teams just want practice. They want to like be able to like compete and like be sharp for TI.
And a lot of the biggest and best events.
That's like what Liquid played last year. They just
too.
like they just played everything. Played a lot of games, a lot of tournaments, and teams just want to play more. So they're not going to say no to stuff.
And I guess the only disadvantage of being neutering the points of teams who are already doing so well, and I would imagine this is not going to likely happen, but if those teams were to, for whatever reason, have some crazy falling out and then split up, and then the way the points will be distributed and how those players who did commit and play so well are going to be, you know, have neutered points and go to their next team. We wager those teams are not likely to break up because they're already going to TI and they're doing so well, but heaven forbid, huge falling out. Maybe one of the players does some dumb stuff we've seen in other games and gets kicked off the team. Like, what would that mean for them moving forward, I guess, would be all.
Yeah.
So there's just, while you think of one, like, this may work, you know there's going to be 2 or 3 reasons why it's going to be sticky for someone else's party to deal with. I don't know. Are you with the idea, Peter, that it's something that Valve will have to step in once again to just establish how things need to work? Or do you think that this is just an evolving system that's going to figure itself out? Maybe, you know, next season TOs are going to pull off on how many events they want to contribute or whatever.
I don't think this year. I mean, I don't know, but through speculation, I don't really think this year has made like tournament organizers want to work together more. Like they've just ran their events the way they want to run them. So
it'd be more like they wanted
what does it matter?
maybe do less, I guess.
I think
Or
there's going to
maybe
be
they
less
won't-
events next year.
Maybe
for
they'll
sure.
do like not 3 minors and instead I'll just do one big major or something like that. So
It is. I mean, even though TOs have a lot of power because of the DPC, I anticipate you probably anticipate this too, Peter, that there's going to be less events just because it's just not cost effective to run so many, like 22 events, like
Not cost effective for who?
the TO. I think that
Why are they running so many?
because they didn't know how many there were.
that's why we saw a lot of events.
Like we were
canceled
originally going to
already.
do a major,
GSC had like
but
2
once we
other
found out there
events.
were like 13 majors, it's harder to sell sponsors. It's harder to get attention, harder to get viewership when there's like 20 something
You
events.
go to a sponsor and they're like, my energy drink is already a part of that major and that major
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
major.
exactly.
I'm
So-
sorry, I just can't help you, sir. And
Yeah.
then it's over.
If there were only 6 majors, I'm pretty sure we would have ran it. So that's like kind of because we don't know how many there were. So
I think every TO was probably surprised when they saw the list. It was maybe even double to what most were expecting. So
yeah.
it's-
So I
it's
think
pretty
there will be
gnarly.
less next year. Maybe they'll expand. Do you think they should expand the points
so you
beyond
think-
4?
All those people, like you guys included, you guys found out how many events were happening after you figured out if you were a minor or a major?
Yes.
Mhm.
Everyone did.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate, huh?
So, you know, you got people who are like, bid.
Yeah. Everyone's bidding.
GSC had 4 events or something potentially at the start.
Yeah.
And they're like, just go. We'll get each quarter covered. Some people are like, I will try my first event this time.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just everybody. And then they
That's why there were
see
ones
what's
canceled.
happening, and you're like, whoa.
That felt like a Slacks interpretation. For me
It
to
really
go to
was.
that.
Yeah, I was embodying the frustration of Slacks with that one.
Midas mode major.
I mean,
That would be so
I am
funny.
curious. Like, I don't think it'd be pushed to a major, but even minors. Do you think an event like that could pull off a minor where you just change rules on the fly potentially?
No. He's shaking his head.
It's just like,
What do you think about
Okay,
that?
so
where do you draw the line?
No, you can't. I even thought like the captain's draft thing was like kind of ridiculous. It's because like it's weird because all of these tournaments are now a part of something bigger, right? They're all part of the international, and TI has this reputation, and this is like the attitude that Valve has towards this. They want the best teams and the best players to play at the tournament, right? And they want the best team to win, and that's why like everything got super changed, because that's not the same values that all of these tournament organizers have out there. And when they're not in business when they don't have the same like core values, it's like it mixes everything up. And you can't have this like captain's draft minor giving DPC points to the captain's mode major, which is like the competitive mode of Dota, right? That's, you go to TI and you play captain's mode. That's the mode. That's Dota. And I guess that's just how I see it, but I do think it's
But do you think there's still a market
tough to
there
do.
for those kind of events to still exist, like outside of the DPC, where teams can still participate in some sort of side zany event with a unique format, or do you think?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I think there's plenty of room for tons of other stuff in Dota.
Okay.
People
Make
just
sure.
wanna
I know
watch
there's a lot
Dota
of
all
Midas
the
Mode
time.
fans out there, and
Yeah, we
you know,
don't wanna-
PBD fans, and they're like, "Wait, but we
Well,
want fun still."
I
or
actually
whatever.
I don't think TI is about the 16 best teams. I think it's about getting the best team to win. But the reason why they have the regional lock slots is because they're accepting that some of those teams are going to be like less good in order to promote better Dota in the region and more popularity, right? I can't imagine they'd have an SA slot and imagine that team's among the top 16 teams in the world if that SA slot goes to a lesser team, right? So they're
Yeah.
balancing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, there's some balance there, but
Yeah.
I think it's still
Yeah,
still this
for the most
tournament
part,
that
you're correct.
That's
yes.
why Valve doesn't sell sponsors for it, right? They don't do any sponsors for the international because it's not about like it's about the teams and the players more so than anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your prediction for Compendium this year? Do you
What
think
do you mean?
do you think it's gonna be more than last year?
Oh, like where the money ends
prize
up.
pool.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes up and up and up, but some
And
some
does it
point,
matter? Okay, and my
gotta come
follow up
down.
to that is, does it matter to you?
It doesn't matter to me. I think it'll go up though. Absolutely. Why would it ever go down?
Well, people spend money. All
Yeah, I
the
feel like
places.
my initial thought to that would just be, that's heavily on Valve and what they
Okay,
what they put out,
for people
you
to
know?
buy.
No. Listen. If TI prize pool going down would be such a PR disaster for Dota 2, right?
Yeah.
That Valve would never allow it to happen.
Oh, so
Valve
you're
makes
saying
so
they
much
would-
money off the compendium that conspiracy theory, get your
Dark
tinfoil
money.
hats ready.
Here we go.
But it's not like they don't have the money to make that prize pool go up every year. $1 million, $2 million. It's not even that much money in comparison to what they make, right? It's like 75-25. Okay, now they give
Sure.
26% or 27%. I think it'll go up.
Okay. All right. The
I would
confidence.
agree. It's a shame because I definitely feel like there would be a huge PR deal about it. Like, oh my God, the prize pool's gone down. Dota is now dead.
What if it's $1 more?
I don't think it's
That'd be
gonna-
suspicious.
If it goes up, it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be dramatically more.
Does
for
it have to
sure.
go up 10%? Is that the going rate?
What is the magic number?
Well, it went up only slightly from last year to the previous year, and everyone was fine.
And it's still so much bigger than everything else out there. So
That's
it's
true.
like,
Yeah. I don't know. I've been hearing some vainglory, and what's that other Arena of Valor, like some of what they pay out to people to play in those events, and it is some scary stuff.
What do you mean scary? As in low or high?
I heard they have like
High.
$80,000 day rates and stuff for people that attend those events.
Really?
Yeah.
Attendance fees they
Yeah.
get to play.
Peter
that
knows,
game?
right?
Really?
I believe it 100%. I mean, you think about the money that there is in Dota 2. Think about mobile games. There's so much money in mobile games.
Yeah. that's
People
true.
are like, think of all the normies out there playing mobile games.
Yeah,
Mobile
They
games.
outnumber us big time.
They do.
they do. Well, this is like when Supercell or whatever decides to run an event. They're just like, yeah, we're just gonna make $20 million prize pool. They're just like literally could just put it in there.
Yep.
They make $1 billion on their People buying like little chests and like doing this.
I can't play those mobile. I don't think I've played any of those mobile.
You like any mobile games, Peter? You play any ones?
I actually don't play a single one. I have no games on my phone.
Do you play anything other than Dota these days?
Not currently. I played some Cuphead, a couple of games of Cuphead,
Nice.
but I can only take that game for so long before I lose it. It's a bad game to help you calm down at night. All right, I cannot
Incredibly
recommend
frustrating side scroller. Yeah.
That leads me into a question. I think that with all this traveling, all this DPC, you have a lot of time, a lot of downtime on planes, in airports, in hotels. What's your like go-to to pass the time, enjoy yourself, not go crazy on these like crazy trips?
Long flights and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
I just watch TV shows and then try to sleep.
Okay, well hit us. What are you watching? What do you like?
I just watched Troy that was on Netflix, and
Mhm.
I'm on season 2 of The Wire right now. So
The Wire.
I'm getting through it.
Oh,
The
can we
show-
talk about The Wire?
The show
Can we
I
talk about
have
The
yet
Wire?
to watch, but everyone
I watched-
insists I must watch. Is it worth the
Yeah.
watch so far?
Did you watch Oz?
Oh, I
prison
mean,
show?
not since I was a child and like it was on HBO.
Oh my God, did you like The Wire though?
Do you like The Wire so
Uh,
far though? I'm curious.
Yeah, I love season 1. Season 2 is a little weird.
Season 2 is very
'cause, like,
different. Yes,
the characters,
completely change.
the characters, yeah, most of the characters completely changed. So I'm like still trying to I'm like at episode 3. I'm trying to like wrap around like all these new characters because there's so many people in the show. But no, it's good.
How many seasons of The Wire are there?
There are 4.
4?
Yes.
I can do that.
It is quite the show. It is very entertaining.
I was surprised because I watched Oz first,
Uh-huh.
and then I go watch The Wire, and I'm like, it's all the same actors. It's like all the same people,
Yeah.
and they're playing like the same exact characters, but just like inside or outside of prison.
Yeah, some of the characters are pretty amazing in that. And also, the reason why you should watch The Wire is it is a blanket statement for white people to be not racist. If you say you like The Wire, it's coded language to mean that you are not a racist person because all
Really?
the characters are black in the first season. So if
Oh,
you're
is
like,
that how it
"Oh,
works?
I big fan of that," then you're shielded
Oh, okay.
for sure.
So like
So,
the
Peter, you
musical
can use
theater
that one?
world, it was like I'm a fan of the color.
We
purple.
don't need excuses. We're good. Like, why do you assume that we have a problem?
Huh? I'm just saying, the people that are the most biggest outspoken Wire fans that love
All right, well,
shouting it out
I'll
a
let
lot.
I'll let my racist friend know that.
Okay,
Oh, good.
just saying. It's an
Is
amazing
that friend
show.
on your team? No.
I don't have racist friends, guys.
Oh,
I was
okay.
joking.
Yeah, he's, in terms of other than that, you just watch a lot of shows. You guys have a lot of meetings. You guys talk a lot at these events. You guys hang out, or is it mostly just kind of scrims and in game, or is the
It's
team
pretty
like
much it's just in game. And then like 4 of us go out to eat. Zai's he's gotten bored of eating. He says so. He just tries to eat at the hotel, same meal every day. But like 4 of us go out, and it's pretty intolerable most of the time. But we get through it for the good food.
What specifically? Come on now. What specifically about it is intolerable?
We just spend so much time with each other that like everybody just hates each other. It's you think I'm joking? I'm being serious. But I'm not friends with any of these guys. I am actually just trying to win these tournaments, and they're really good at the game. So
Yeah.
we spend the time that we have to together, and then when we don't need to, we go our separate ways.
healthy? I heard that Dennis Rodman didn't talk to Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen on the basketball court at all.
Really?
And it's just like, is that off the basketball court at all?
Okay.
They literally have never communicated outside of that. And I'm like, how can that be true? You have practice, you're always together in hotel rooms, and you're just like, we've never talked. Never. And I was just like, that can't be
business
right,
part-
right?
business-
They won
business associates,
championships,
yeah.
in the NBA.
He's like,
That's
I'm
awesome.
gonna pull down the ball and hand it to you.
Yeah,
and I
they've
don't
never.
Care. That's about it.
I'm like that. No, so apparently that's the case. That you can have just a professional relationship on the court.
So when you do have to bunk rooms with someone on your team, who do you prefer to bunk up with?
I think I prefer to bunk with probably Zai or Quinn. Zai's pretty chill. We get along. We know each other. Quinn is he's a really good sleeper. Yeah, he just he can sleep on command, and he's just lights out. So you don't have to worry about being loud or anything.
Makes me feel
Ned is
Peter's
all right.
going, sleep. Quinn.
Yeah, Ned is a pretty light.
Like a robot.
Ned is a pretty heavy sleeper. I roomed with him recently, but he does this he snores and then he mumbles in Hebrew during his sleep occasionally,
What?
and that's
All right.
way too creepy for me.
All
So
right, fair
I'm
enough.
big pass on rooming with Ned ever again. Who else is there? Who's my last? Pycat.
Pycat.
Yeah, I don't really room with Pycat.
PyCat having a resurgence this year.
Yeah, Pike
People
got to
talking
the
about
old trusty now,
Yeah.
you know?
I can't believe it was his first tournament win. Like
In
10
Dota
years,
2,
right?
right? I don't know. I've heard he won in
He was in
Dota
the
Bad
1.
finals like
teammates,
an
man.
LGD
Bad
Int.
teammates.
Bad teammates, right?
LGD Int
Bad teammates.
was in a finals of a Chinese tournament like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember watching them in that. That's the one where he did the gun intro bit.
Yep.
in
Yeah,
China.
that's the legendary
The
Dota intro.
classic. Yeah. So do we want to get to some questions? Do we have some questions from our Discord? You guys want to go to our Discord? You can pop in there, ask Peter some questions. We'll ask them if they are appropriate. You know.
Yeah.
We get some that are inappropriate. We don't want you to hear them. They're a
Most
little
of these
mean.
are
you know.
totally tame and fine.
Some people that perhaps dislike your bias towards the NA region. Not the.
I got one here from our boy, Mr. Mike Poe. After building up a squad like EG to be some of the best players in the world, what is the best/worst part of starting over with a new roster like Optic Gaming again?
Losing, right?
Getting back to being grounded again?
Yeah, losing sucks. No matter how good you are, it's always incredibly painful. And the worst part about it is you don't get to play Dota anymore, and the tournament's over. So losing is definitely the worst. And there's a lot more losing on a new team that is less successful than a team that's been around forever and always places high.
Of course. But best parts.
The best parts.
But the best parts now.
It's really about the Dota, right?
Mhm.
I just play Dota because I want to play Dota and I want to win. And it's very fun to watch myself take steps to get there and see results. Makes me feel like I am accomplishing things.
As a follow up to that, does every team, expects to have some growing pains when they start their team? They can suffer through a period where they're not winning as much to just like get more used to playing with each other. But there's always a point where it's like, okay, this is actually too much losing in the team. Can you like explain that process? Because it might not be familiar to any of the fans. It's like kind of this delicate moment where you're not sure.
Sure. So in order to have teammates and play on a team and, get along with these guys and win, you have to trust your teammates. And when that trust is broken, then you no longer can be teammates. Maybe you just need to take a break, or maybe you just need to switch teams. So if you don't believe that the guy next to you is capable of doing or capable of winning, or you're not capable of winning with him, then you need to make a change.
And that's different for every player. Some players are able to deal with that and trust their teammates for quite a long time, stand by them as they, as you go through a bunch of losses, and some players are have pretty short, kind of like all of a sudden they just.
I mean, most of these decisions get made off of, unanimous opinion of the team. So, if four of the guys think that, this one guy, they could do better with somebody else, then it'll happen. But rarely do teams just, split like down the core.
While back and during your heyday of EG and when you were kind of the big boss man, I know you were huge on your content drive, and the Pontius from our Discord is curious if you're ever going to consider bringing back the good old PPD podcast or maybe vlogs.
Yeah, so I would love to do the podcast again. I won't be doing the vlogs. I did like a snowboarding vlog on my channel recently. That was kind of fun, but it was like totally separate than Dota. It's something that I was dealing with when I was vlogging originally back on EG with that team, and it's cool until it's not cool. And when people start to think, hey, maybe you're too focused on your content creation, maybe you shouldn't be a Dota player. So you got to really walk the line there, and you got to be very careful of not crossing it, because you don't want your team to think that your head is someplace else. So there won't be vlogs most likely ever again from Dota events. However, I would love to do the podcast. I'm thinking about just running it solo and just like ranting for 30 minutes, once a week or once every 2 weeks or something.
I'm sure people would love that. I mean, you seem to really embrace kind of the content, and it really got you out of a shell. Not to say you were a huge introvert or anything, but it just kind of elevated the way you're able to just kind of carry yourself, talk about things, do interviews, and whatever. Would you attest a lot of that to your content, or like what? Because it feels like you did a life level up at some point. Obviously, like what would you attest a lot of that to?
A life level up. Wow.
I don't know. Am I the only one who think from the outside that you really like kind of just came out and did like a lot of great content, a lot of good, strong interviews, and I don't know. It felt like you burst out of a shell.
I've always been like a decent public speaker or capable of talking on camera. It's just, and I also like as a captain and as a leader, I think I need to have a lot of confidence, and I think that helps me put myself out there for content or for interviews or whatever it might be. I don't know if I like leveled up, but I genuinely like improving my speaking abilities. So I like taking opportunities like this to, talk to fans, talk to you guys, talk about Dota, but also, hopefully become a public blah blah blah.
Not with that.
Hopefully become a better public speaker.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a really cool skill to have.
Yeah. Or maybe I'm thinking about as like you've now done a lot of content creation. Maybe it means you're more open to doing stuff, interviews, podcasts, and extra content because you've seen it now from all sides and what.
I mean, he's also been talent, right? Like, you gonna miss paneling?
No.
I knew he was gonna say that.
Why would I miss paneling?
I'm just saying, hey, people have fun paneling. What's wrong? You didn't have fun at TI?
Actually, no. I guess I have missed paneling because I've thought about at the tournaments that I'm at when I'm eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. I've always thought like, oh, it'd be really fun to go up on the panel for a series, right? So I guess in ways I do miss it. I just like being entertaining and being a personality and just like messing around.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that kind of goes hand in hand with another question I have here from Dager in our Discord. How much of the Salt King persona is a facade to keep fans engaged, and how much is that the real Peter?
Yeah, so a lot of overlap for sure, right? I mean, you guys know.
Yeah, he's not different in person, guys. He's exactly the same.
It's enough that some people have to ask, I guess.
I can be very nice. However, I can be vindictive at times. And is that right? Probably not. And I am always pushing my own agenda for sure, 100%, right? But oftentimes my agenda is a Dota player's agenda, and therefore I'm representing more than just myself, hopefully. So when I make these comments or I send out these tweets or I say these edgy things, a lot of it is for the true nature of fun and spirit and enjoying making Dota 2 a little bit more exciting, but also I try to call people on their shit so that way, not that I think I'm going to change anything, but maybe it starts a discussion that leads to some change down the road. So there's me saving my own ass. Hopefully that is a decent answer.
No, that's incredibly fair, I would say. And a lot of these kind of discussions, even past ones, have certainly led to changes moving forward for a lot of things. So yeah.
I mean, Peter was a saving grace of the panel last TI. People loved him on the panel.
It was great. It was like a huge analyst. They brought in like almost
all
available pros.
A lot of pros give the straight answer. It's a smart answer. It's a straight answer, but it's not. I don't think they think of the angle of delivering it to be entertaining for the fans.
You got to think of a way to bring in the guy. You got to set up the guy next to you. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got to it's a big team there. Trying to make an entertaining product, and it's not not so easy. Paneling is not actually very easy. Even if you have the knowledge, you have to be able to deliver it right.
Yep.
But, what's harder? Paneling or playing Dota and winning the international? I don't know. So you don't have to answer that one.
No, I mean, if it's a question, I can answer. I mean, paneling is really easy, right, for me. Because, like you said, I don't mind being on camera. Also, the subject matter is like I'm talking to little children, right?
12-year-olds, by the way.
I'm sitting here next to Ake, who hasn't played in a year, and Merlini, of all people. And I'm sitting here trying to discuss the inner workings of Dota. That being said, I didn't play for a year, right? So I knew that I had no idea what I was talking about when I was up there, but I knew that I knew way more than these two guys next to me. So I could just
Merlini could do no wrong at the same time.
Merlini's retired, man. You can't even defend himself.
Merlini's a neutral character.
He can't even defend himself.
He'll just be there to echo the sentiments for sure. But I mean, you're right. You have the confidence. Oopsie Bear.
It's fun.
Oopsie Bear asks, waffles or pancakes?
Waffles or pancakes? Okay.
I'm gonna mix it up a little.
Yeah, let's go.
We can't go all Dota all day.
I don't put sugary breads into my body anymore during breakfast. I am strictly cups of coffee. Old man here. And I've been on a real muffin craze lately. So if there's a
Muffins,
muffin,
Yeah. Like blueberry muffins.
any particular flavor? Come on.
I just had a triple berry muffin 2 days ago. It was all right. It was all
Just
right.
had one 2 days ago.
I only eat the
Yeah.
tops of muffins. I leave the rest.
Oh my
You're
god.
a savage.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Fair
No,
enough.
that's fine because like it's a dessert anyways, right? It's
Exactly.
like getting the ice cream and I'm just gonna have a couple bites. It's not like it's okay to put things down. I know this is America.
It's hard though when you're at at DAC. They had this 5-star freaking buffet of food. It's
No,
hard
you-
to put anything down. They
You
had
gotta
a little bit of everything
show
there.
that the food does not control you. That you are a man of the Renaissance, and you always leave 20% left, essentially.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would be kind of judgmental. Any of your teammates have their own intriguing version of breakfast, I guess, in the morning?
Yeah. What are the weirdest food and whatever habits of your teammates that you're just like, what are you doing, guys?
Yeah, so Quinn's from Louisiana. He lives in Texas now, Houston, and
Okay.
he's a big seafood guy. Being there from the South. So any place that has seafood, even if it's a little questionable, maybe you shouldn't order seafood at this place. He's oftentimes leaning towards the seafood or the fried chicken. So he's real Kekona. He's real American.
All right.
He's from Louisiana. He's so skinny. Like,
Yeah,
Eating
he's
fried
ni-
chicken, eating
19.
seafood and stuff.
19. He's got the metabolism.
yes. Jeez.
Let's see. Pycat and Zai, they just do like eggs, right? They're just hard-boiled eggs, right? Bodybuilders. Yeah, I don't know. I just do coffee usually.
Okay. From
Good question. Good
Oh,
question.
yeah.
No, we'll
Hard-hitting
like that one.
subjects here on the HotCox podcast.
We only cover the important things.
Yeah.
Politics and breakfast.
And we got to open the portal for the people out there to know stuff like this, like
Yeah.
breakfast items. Our favorite, Cart Dota, asks, with 3-3, you picked up a more unknown player. Do you think there's a lot of
No,
unknown?
hold on. We got to get the better question from Cartoto. Why did you block him?
Oh,
I
he asked
blocked
that? I didn't
on
even know he
Twitter.
asked them.
Why did you block me on Twitter? That's
I
what he's
wasn't-
asking you. He must have said
was that
something.
Cart or
You don't even
Scant?
You know
remember.
what?
Oh, that was Scant. Sorry, not Cart. You didn't block Cart. You blocked Scant. Okay.
That is
There's
a
no stat
question.
guys
though.
is-
Scan
one
is
syllable.
a caster, statsman, something. right?
Correct. Yeah. Why did
Yeah,
you block him?
he's-
That's his question.
I mean, he's probably on one of those Nahaz statsman Twitter threads, right?
Oh my God. Naz in the chat.
He is one
Oh,
in those.
That's
Nahaz,
fine.
yes,
Nahaz and I are cool. He
Okay.
understands who he used to be.
Just like old times. Here we go.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyways,
No.
I'm sorry that I blocked you. I just didn't want to see your tweets anymore. Maybe I should have muted. My bad.
Okay.
My bad.
Scant. He doesn't want to see your tweets.
There
That's
was a
why-
day when I wasn't as nice as a person as I am now. I used to block people on Twitter, and now I just mute them.
Okay.
Sorry.
Good enough.
No, it's good. I'm glad.
Unfollowing
we
and
want-
or blocking is definitely a statement.
It's like
It's
I
different
want,
than
I want
muting.
you to see it.
Yeah,
now
I
every
want you to
time come
know that.
by. I didn't even know muting was an option. I'll have to look into that.
It's a nice one, man. That's like half of the people that I follow just muted because I really just don't care what they have to see. However, I might want to have access to them at some point in my life.
I also for people that tweet a lot. I follow like a lot of people, and some people tweet a lot, and I still want to see their tweets, but so I'll like click on their thing and see their thing, but I just don't want it every. So you mute, and you go there sometimes.
Do you have like a favorite thing you're following right now on Twitter that's
No,
standing out? No.
no, not really. I like Thorin.
Oh, good.
I follow Thorin, but
Entertaining.
I'll click on his feed and read his tweets rather than just have it interspersed. That's what I'll do.
Fair. Only small doses for Lord Thorin. Cart's question was again, if you picked up 33 as more of an unknown player, and do you still think there's a lot of unknown players that are amazing that are yet to get the chance? So in your obvious continuous pub play, are there still some untapped potential out there? I guess that is yet to get picked up in the same way of 3-3. They're curious.
I mean, 3-3's been playing for a while. He was like at TI last year with the team, so I don't really think he was like super unknown. He was just kind of from like a smaller region and a smaller team, so people didn't. I mean, I guess he was lesser known, but he wasn't like lesser skilled ever.
Mhm.
And I didn't really know too much about him, but my teammates did more so than I did because they play on like EU servers, I guess. So they just said pick him up, so we did. And for like untapped potential of other players out there, absolutely, of course. There always is going to be new up and coming players that have talent, right?
Mm-hmm.
as long as Dota is generating new players, which I think it does. Or I mean, pretty much anybody that's going to be a pro in the next 5 years has already been playing Dota, right? It's very unlikely that somebody's going to start tomorrow and be a pro in 5 years.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I mean, I think that's like a question, just get confirmation. Like, there's still people like who have picked up the game and are adamantly trying to become pro, and it's not just going to be the old guards forever moving forward. There's going to be the next Sumail. There's going to be the next Arteezy.
Certain position. I mean, the captains probably. I don't think you're going to find suddenly a new captain that just can draft and do everything better than everything. You need experience for that, tournament experience too. But some of these sicko mechanical mid guys, like maybe some new kid out there.
New prodigies.
12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Playing Dota for 70% of his life. Can do it in his sleep, One of those guys.
Just know that the process takes a while. There's lots of people that are already at the highest level, or they're top 100 ranked, and all they want to do with their lives is become a Dota pro, and it could take them 5 more years to become a professional, or it might just never happen for them. So yeah, if you're gonna start tomorrow, you got a long road ahead of you.
Cavjar has asked, how come Mason hasn't had more successful career in Dota? I guess he's also just generally curious what your relationship is with him since post TI4. I guess there's been a lot of, used to be a heavy image of you and Mason as kind of like, bros or good buddies.
Sure.
And, we haven't seen much of Mason recently, and we're just curious if there's an update about Mason, or what's your relationship with Mason now, kind of a thing.
What's he up to?
I don't necessarily know what he's up to. I think I asked him maybe a couple months ago if he was trying to play anywhere, and I think he was still the same opinion as he's always had, is that he just doesn't want to. He wants to play with a higher caliber of team than a lot of the offers that he gets. So he's just still just holding out for one of those better opportunities. And I can't speak for him, but I think that's how he felt after TI4 when he didn't rejoin the team immediately, and I feel like maybe that's how he feels now after leaving, what was it, DC or something, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're still able to kind of play with him occasionally. Do you think he still has it, I guess, still able to hang and be able to play at a top tier team?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has the skill for sure. So I don't necessarily, haven't played with him in a long time in like a professional setting, and I don't really know the type of teammate he is nowadays. But is there potential? Absolutely, 100%.
Good. I mean, any Mason fans out there are going to be at least happy to hear that.
They're spamming the face in the
chat. If it means anything coming from me, so
I'm happy to hear anything, because I know a lot of the NA Dota players out there like to kind of hide in the shadows for a while before they somehow reemerge in some way. Maybe next to IX Mike on a team, I'm not too sure. He'll just suddenly come back in action.
Is he good now? IX Mike?
I know Mike. I watch his stream all the time.
How's he doing? Is he doing well?
He was tilting the other night. He was getting really upset.
Yeah?
He was playing Pudge, and I was really worried about him for a couple minutes.
Mike was playing Pudge.
What was he doing?
Whoa.
He just was a lot of deaths, and it looked like his team was going to lose the game.
Oh, okay. Do you like watching other people get angry? Is that fun for you?
So my little brother actually watches the Raw Dota guy, right?
Yeah.
And
Henry,
apparently
right.
Henry was on a 12 or 13 game losing streak last night. So he stayed up. He stayed up all night. Stuff. He stayed up all night. He's like, I'm not going to sleep until I win. And apparently streamed all night, and he was still streaming this morning. And he's like, he has Midas on every hero he's playing. He's like in the fucking enemy's base, just dying and saying space, and he is absolutely 120% part of the problem, right? And he's still just like blaming his teammates and just out of control. So he lost his mind last night. Shout out to Henry. I hope he's feeling better. Hope he got some sleep.
Oh my god.
What's the longest losing streak you've been on, and have you been in that kind of position where you're just like, I'm going to hold out till I get the win?
I think the biggest loss streak I've had, or win streak even, is like right around ±8. I'm pretty good about pubs nowadays. I really don't let them get to me. And if things are getting really dark, I'll start picking Pudge, and I'll get 2 more losses on Pudge, right? Because you're definitely going to lose if you pick that hero. And then I switch to another hero, and I usually win after my 2 Pudge games.
Pudge cleanses you?
Yeah, it's like a real reset. You're just like playing this hero, and your laning phase is so fucking bad, and you're just like, why am I picking this hero when I know it's trash? Am I trying to lose these games on purpose? and then that resets your mind, and you come into the next game thinking, I'm gonna pick Witch Doctor, and I'm gonna, and we're gonna win this
I'm
game,
gonna throw the
and then you
cast.
win,
It's gonna
and then
bounce
you win.
around.
I saw you playing
Okay.
Dark Willow earlier. How do you feel about that hero? Do you think it's for a 5 position a little too powerful? Does it fit with your skill set pretty well? How are you liking it?
Ooh, well, yeah, being an incredibly low mechanically skilled player like myself, it is very difficult for me to keep up with the young kids and all these new
Of
these new
course.
generation
Yeah.
champions being introduced into the game. But I've been playing her a lot. It's really nice. I like practicing her in overthrow. She's really, really fun, and I think she's good. I don't think she's super overpowered. But if you put it in the hands of these like crits, DJs, these like incredibly talented 4 position players, Zai, right? They're gonna make this hero look broken. But they do that on lots of other heroes as well.
Wait, don't you play Chen?
Yeah.
Isn't that a mechanically hard hero to play?
Um, Depends who you ask. I would say yes. I would say my Chen is, my Chen's passable. I wouldn't say it's phenomenal. Um,
There's a long history of you having to
Chen's
play
hard.
Chen, and even in, I don't know if you played Ophelia and Han
Dota's
or whatever, but
Dota's a really hard game, man. Like
Oh.
it's even when I was playing Dazzle at the Starlighter tournament, I was like, this grave cast point is so long. Like, and maybe I'm just bad, right? I don't know. It's tough. Dota's a hard game.
Most would agree. Brick asked PPD if his favorite hometown bar is Corner Pocket. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means
Is that
either.
No,
Is
it's
it
like
a
an inside
Colorado
joke.
bar?
There's like
Oh.
this dude that comes into my stream. No, it's from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Shout out to Corner Pocket on Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's my hometown, right?
Oh,
And,
okay. Fair enough.
These people, they come into my stream, they Google my hometown, and they find out what college I went to, right? And then they start like Google mapping, finding like restaurants around the place. And they're just like, oh yeah, man, I was at Corner Pocket the other night. They like go into, they like look at the menu, like, yeah, I got the flamed grilled wings. We're like, yeah, you like those, Peter? And I'm like, yeah.
I know
like,
you,
those are-
Peter. I've looked it up.
And then they come to my stream every day, and they're just like, hey, they're like, I'll see you at Corner Pocket this weekend, Pete.
See you at Corner Pocket this week.
And I'm like, yeah, I'll see you there. Animals, man, animals. Twitch chat.
They just want to
Have
be your
mercy.
bro, man. They just want to be your friend. They want to have
It'd
some
be
stuff.
funny if Corner
in
Pocket
common.
was like a strip club or something.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that
it
your
could
favorite
be.
place to go?
They
Corner
got
Pocket?
the wings.
Corner Pocket.
They could be. It's actually a pool bar. Don't disrespect it like that, please.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay, my bad.
Sorry.
My bad.
And they have amazing wings. So, shout out to Corner Pocket.
Does Peter watch Arteezy stream? Ask
You watch
him that,
Arteezy's
please.
stream.
I missed his last stream where he had all the viewers, but I was traveling, to be fair, and
okay.
so I'm gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to wait 30 days, right, for the next stream.
It's true.
Oh,
So, I'll maybe next go around. I'll catch him.
how is the do you guys like do you still talk a lot to the not a lot, but do you still talk to EG guys at all?
I don't talk to anybody. Like I said, I'm not even friends with my teammates.
Hmm.
So I talk to Fogged sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally talk to Slacks. I talk to Grant, and then everyone else I just don't pay attention to.
When you talk to Slacks, what do you guys talk about?
Um,
Memes?
I don't. Just like, I guess, like little funny things that we think are funny that other people don't get.
They make fun of people, dude. Oh God, I wish I
Oh,
was in that chat.
Little
I'm
Mean
jealous.
Girls side private
know.
chat going.
You guys could get subs can view a snippet of the chat. You get a lot of subs. You in Slack's chat. Oh man.
Yeah, well, if he adds that to his
Content
Patreon,
idea,
then we can. Yeah, if he adds that to his Patreon, we can bring it out.
Peter, you're a big Gwent player. Artifact in the
Yeah.
future around the corner for you. Any Artifact thoughts?
Everybody thinks I'm a card game player because I played this game for
And
3 months.
You won one, right? You won a championship for Gwent or took a title.
I won a quarterfinal.
There we go.
That's right.
There we go.
Top 8.
like-
I'm trying to put him
I
up
got-
Top
there.
8.
Yeah,
top
I
4.
got 3rd/4th, but thank you very much. I do.
GPC points.
This incredibly gifted mind of mine that allows me to draft so expertly in Dota.
Mm.
Also, it's very analytical, right? So therefore, I am an excellent card game player without ever practicing or playing the games. I have played some Artifact. I don't know how much. I
Wait,
can
what?
Say, right?
Oh goodness.
What's
So
it
I
like?
I played a little bit. It's it's like every other card game. I never win, and I make a lot of excuses. So I'm sure if people like doing that,
Is it
then
better than Hearthstone?
I never played Hearthstone.
Okay.
So I'm not the person to ask. I have no expertise on card games at all.
Okay.
It seemed less fun than Gwent, but
Oh,
I, I was on a real Gwent kick. Witcher, great game.
he likes the games that he wins at. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah,
It's okay to like the games you feel
No,
confident.
hey, I'm not
good
making a
at.
statement about that. Just saying, it's happening.
no, I haven't won a game of Artifact yet, actually, even against bots.
The bots beat you. Okay. The bots
Yeah,
are
I mean,
must be good.
I'm not playing on the easiest difficulty.
Like,
All right.
it's like open AI, you know. Get some bots in there.
Maybe. I mean, that seems to be wrapping up the general hubbub about a lot of these donated free questions here. Maybe one more.
Screening them.
Yeah, I have to screen some of these, unfortunately, a bit. Okay. Actually, I have one question, and I'll follow up with this one here. I asked this to a lot of the players actually at DAC, and I'm curious about your insight to it or your opinion on it. This Ice Frog's new patching system here.
That's
doing,
right. Okay.
Doing every 2 weeks now instead of like the wait out for a couple months and drop one monster bomb to change the game. What do you think about that? Do you like the change up every 2 weeks? And do you even like if it's dropped in the middle of a tournament?
I think it's a little tough to drop patches in the middle of tournaments, but I don't mind every 2 weeks. You know, we're basically asking for these things anyways, right? They're all just like little tone downs on things that we find broken, but that's what Dota players are supposed to do, right? You're supposed to go find out what's, the most overpowered thing in the game and then abuse it to win. So if you change it every 2 weeks, it's going to be pretty difficult to stay on top if there's significant changes or not. But
Well,
most of them are pretty small.
That's what a lot of people would theorize. Like part of the reason, like dropping Pango CM mid tournament. It's like I think most would agree that they might want to consider their timing a bit better. Certainly not mid tournament for a hero drop, but it seems like Valve's idea is if we want to get our best notes, our best
there's
feedback,
a tournament every week.
Put it out there.
There's a tournament every week.
Yeah,
How are
plus
they going to put it
every
into
week.
captain's mode at what are they going to,
It was a big part in. It was a pretty big part in Mineski winning the major, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. ISIS had some amazing Pango, and they were quick to shift to anything that came out and utilize.
Yeah. and the fact that you can, you have that hero as an option now. So every time you're playing against Mineski, you have to be worried about this Pangolier pick, which prevents you from picking certain heroes, and maybe you have to waste one of your bans on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a pretty big advantage for a lot of these players and teams that maybe didn't know it was coming out, right? Because they didn't have insider information, and the hero just kind of like went into captain's mode by surprise.
Do you think some teams did insider info?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. People talk. What are you talking like?
How do they know it's coming out?
Because somebody said something to somebody, and then they said something to like 8 other people, who then told everybody else too.
Bulba. So things go. It's Bulba.
Always Bulba.
Whatever.
So that being said, the information that has crossed my plate, they said Techies was coming in that last patch. So I don't know where he is.
So you're just expecting it'll be dropped any patch day now. It'll probably come out.
Do you like techies?
Do I like techies? Yeah, I love techies. I play techies. It's fun.
Are you going to get your brother on your team as a swing when techies comes out?
I would love to, but roster locks from Valve's policies are too strict.
Will he coach at least maybe your team and give him the best insights on how to use the hero to his best potential, I imagine?
33 a good techies? Seems like he plays Broodmother. He's probably... Oh, come on.
I can't talk about techies, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
This
all
could be
right.
crucial to me winning
Secret
the international
strats.
this year, and I don't want to. I don't want to share too much.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. People were actually eager to hear your opinion on techies, so that worked out pretty well.
That being said, when the hero does come back, I don't think everybody's going to sleep on him again. Right?
Yeah. Sir.
People are like, okay, techies is in the game. We need to pay attention to this hero. I doubt China's going to be like, okay, we're just going to ignore this guy, pretend he doesn't exist.
How'd it work out for them last time they did that?
It doesn't work out, man. Every hero that's in Dota, you got to be aware of. That last pick Broodmother is a real game ruiner for spectators, right?
It really is. One of the last questions here. There's a theme today going on Twitter. I can't remember what it's called, but the 4 video games that define, kind of like who you are. Would you mind entertaining us with 4 games that kind of defined who PPD is?
If you need time to think, me and Dakota can do ours.
No, I can do this.
Okay. Cool.
I would say Age of Empires.
Okay.
Right.
Why Age of Empires?
Call of Duty. Well, these are the games. These are the big games that I hit growing up,
Okay.
right?
Call of
Like Age
Duty.
of yeah, I guess. I mean, it's hard to like. You played a lot of games when you're younger, right?
Yeah.
What's the games you played the most? Probably a lot of Age of Empires. I played a lot of Warcraft 3, right? That's where Dota started.
That's 3. That's 2 of them.
That's 2, yeah. I played a lot of Call of Duty,
Mm-hmm.
Modern Warfare 1,
This chat's gonna go insane if he doesn't say. And the fourth
and
one.
World of Warcraft in high school when video games took over my life.
Oh yeah, I guess people would probably suspect you'd put
Han?
Han in there.
Where's
I guess.
Han?
God, you're right, man. See, like I need more than 4.
No,
Who
you
only
gotta.
plays
This is
4
why it's
games?
hard. This is why it's hard. You're limited to 4.
Yeah.
My life is games. These
Breaky is so mad right
files.
now in the chat. He's actually typing in all caps. I've never
I
seen him
actually
this angry.
I actually totally forgot about Han. I think I was gonna say another game before I
Breaky's
said
so
Han.
fucking mad. He's in the chat. How dare you?
A
He's
lot of
saying
people wanna
stuff, dude.
forget Han, no.
Oh yeah, you guys play
God. Well, for a lot of those Chinese players, it's PUBG, right?
Yeah, probably. Or some RPG, I guess.
I'm just
the
kidding.
name.
What was the one that newbie supposedly played after a TI win? It was like
I have no
multi-
idea. I heard it was even a mobile.
Yeah.
RPG,
maybe not Age of Empires, man. Maybe I should throw
Gonna
Han
kick
in
it
there.
out.
yeah, throw Han in there.
Yeah, I'll
You
throw
can take
Han,
it back. He's bringing it back.
Han, Dota, Call of Duty, and World of Warcraft. Those 4.
What about you,
A lot of
Dick?
hours.
I put mine as Earthbound from Super Nintendo, Diablo 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and Dota 2. They're all 2s for me.
Real follower, huh?
Not a real follower. I mean, Earthbound was heavily followed for its time. That's like
yeah,
the
but you
biggest
came
hipster
around for
game
the
ever.
second iteration of every game.
You gotta be a hipster.
Yeah,
You gotta be cool. You gotta
Well,
be
those
cool.
were the better iterations, really.
You know, my,
My
Yeah,
mine
it's-
are
it-
StarCraft. Yeah, go ahead. Do you
No,
have-
I'm sorry. I was gonna say those were the pilots, right? The game with the first series was the pilot. Then they got the money to
Yeah,
make a
yeah.
good
I
game.
mean,
that you
Diablo
played.
1 is everyone was walking around. That was terrible, you know? When they brought in the running element to Diablo 2, then we were talking in multiplayer.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of different options. I mean, mine are Brood War, StarCraft Brood War,
Yeah, no surprise
Smash
there.
Melee.
No surprise there
I'm gonna
either.
go with Chrono Trigger,
Okay.
and then I guess the next one would have to be Dota.
Really?
Yeah. So, I guess if you have to go all the way back, I guess it's Red Alert. But
Word.
yeah,
All right.
but
Original RTS action. All right, fair enough. Cool.
Played a lot of Smash too. That was a
yeah,
big game.
Smash,
Middle school, high school.
Melee forever. You know,
You guys can have that.
Melee forever.
FGC over here.
Nice, man.
All right, that probably wraps up all of our
Yeah,
user-submitted questions. Thanks, guys, for putting those questions in. If
Yeah.
you want to be a part of questions moving forward in the future, hit us up on our Discord. It's discord.gg/BTS. We get a lot of people in there who even prefer and
Yeah,
enjoy
we're almost at 2K.
Yeah, we're probably
Discordians.
rivaling the BTS Korean boy band. A lot of people come into our
we
server.
we get a lot of people that think it's because we have /BTS, so we get a lot of people that are trying to find the Korean boy band one, and they hop in, and then they quickly realize it is not about the
Well,
boy
we don't
band.
tell them.
We pretend, yeah, we
don't
pretend for
tell
a
them
little
they're
bit.
in the wrong spot.
You know, you can usually tell because they're usually women that don't know anything about Dota.
Their avatars and their
yeah.
names usually have something BTS in it. We entertain them and let
Yeah.
them think they're in the right spot. But come and hang out with us. We talk about many more things than just Dota 2 and such like that. But
Peter, you got anything to plug? Anything to talk about at the last?
anything that went unsaid that needs to be said.
Anything that needs to be said.
Here and now. I know you got just
Shout
limited
outs
time
and
off.
call outs and anything you want to say now.
Nah, it's all good. We're playing qualifiers this next week. Make sure you guys come watch, support Dota, support NA Dota, and looking forward to qualifying for some lands and then getting to TI.
No matter what happens, whichever NA teams go to TI, the NA qualifier is going to be fire.
The NA qualifiers for TI are
Yeah.
going to be amazing.
They got to have that at a live location with a crowd. That would be sick.
That would be.
Because there's like 4 to 6 teams that
Yep.
entertaining teams.
Hopefully, we're here doing another early iteration of like the Kings Cup crew
Yeah,
again or
exactly.
something. That was a very enjoyable qualifier to watch, and I'm imagining it's going to be mega hype this TI too. So, best of luck, Peter, of course, in your qualifiers coming up.
Thank you for taking the time to chat with us.
We appreciate it. I assume you're going to get right back to your own thing. You were streaming earlier. You're just going to hop back onto the stream right after this.
I don't know, man. Games are pretty rough in the morning. I don't think it's late enough.
All right, fair enough. Well, thanks for coming by, Peter. We appreciate it, and we hope to see more from you and hear more from you, certainly on the Twitter sphere too. And that's going to wrap things up for our HotCox episode. We do have coming tomorrow, actually, a special Movie Buff 420 edition. Peter, we're watching Super Troopers 2.
Oh, yeah. What are you doing for 420? You got anything special planned?
The green team?
Flying to Texas.
Okay.
All right. That's where the dankest shit happens, apparently.
So he's going to get high and on plane.
Yep.
Elevation.
I see what you did there. Very nice.
We're going to be here.
We got to end on that note.
Which Super Trooper? Wait.
There's a new Super Troopers. Super Troopers 2. You remember the original one?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the original. So
all right.
I tried to get my team to watch it at some boot camp, but that movie has like a nice 45-minute section where it's just pretty slow.
Well, hopefully the sequel is a bit more fast-paced. We're catching it tonight, so if you are interested while you're in Texas, I'm sure you can hit up in a theater out there. Anyone else, you happen to go watch it, you can join us tomorrow as we talk about it, myself and Dan, on our podcast. But other than that, hit us up on our merch store. You can see all the swag at the front. Currently, we have the Smash Summit merchandise happening right now. Looks good. It's a limited edition, so go check it out. All right.
Thanks, Peter.
Hit up Peter, of course.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Extra love. Thank you so much.
Directly invited him to our podcast.
Yes. Directly here.
Yeah, you guys made it at the beginning. You made it sound like I needed to throw out some drama tweets before I had access to this platform.
No qualifiers here. Just directly right onto the main event. So, thank you.
All right, take care, everyone. Take care, Peter. We'll see you next time for more BTS podcast action. Have a good one.